Richie Rich, good morning.
Hello, Joe.
Hello there, Johnny.
Some older golf balls had honey in the center. The Walter Hagen Honey Center was one of them. This is like 1930s and to 1950s. So not that long ago, they thought honey was an appropriate filling
I don't know what to say
for
about
golf
that.
balls.
All right, whose sister in a movie was Honey? I'm second day in a row. I'm giving you a trivia question from your thing.
Whose sister?
A guy is talking on the phone to Honey, and a gal sitting next to him who's very good looking and thinks that he's got a girlfriend, and he says, "No, that was my sister," and then he gets hit by a car.
It sounds super familiar.
It's Brad Pitt in that movie that 3-hour movie. Meet Joe Black?
Oh, Meet Joe Black.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a deep cut by you.
I never saw
That's because you love
Black.
Claire Forlani so much.
I'm a huge fan of her,
I know
man.
you are.
Huge fan of her. It's a strange movie, but
it's a really strange
yeah,
movie.
it is. Anyway, no, cool fact, John. Then I could give you the fact that actual cocaine used to be in Coca-Cola. You want to talk about what's in there? But anyway, so let's get to the makings of the Phillies, the parts of the Phillies. No Honey. But a lot of frustration amongst a lot of people. So two different things really on the table today. One is the overall offseason for the Phils. What they've done, what they haven't done. What you wanted them to do, and what you're happy and disappointed about. All of that on the table. Your assessment of how they have comprised this thing. It looks like this is largely it. Maybe a minor move or two. Maybe Bader. I mean, Dombrowski was pretty clear yesterday. Don't expect anything big. For the most part, what you got is what you got. So the overall Phillies offseason on the table at 215-592-9494. But so too is specific reaction to what was said yesterday. Because a lot was said. Matter of fact, before we get to anything, let's listen to Dave Dombrowski, what he said about almost getting Bichette, but not getting Bichette. Here's what Dombrowski said.
Well, I can't say that we ever thought it was done, because there's a difference between, we thought we were very close to having a deal done. We thought it was going to happen, but it wasn't done. And so there's a difference between the two. And as I've explained to some other people, that it's a situation where in baseball, and agents run things differently between themselves. They do things in different ways. Until you sign a memo of understanding, you don't have a deal done. And we did not sign one of those. And it wasn't that we weren't moving towards that direction. It didn't think that we were going to get there based upon our conversations. But we did not get to that point. So I can't say that I ever thought we had it done. I did think we were going to get a deal done.
It's a pretty, what I think, candid and it sounds reasonable answer. I mean, whether you like how the situation ended up or not, and most don't. The reality is, I think he told you the truth there. Look, obviously they pivot to JT. JT told you the truth yesterday that he thought there was a moment where he was probably gone. After thinking for most of the offseason, he thought he'd be back. And then near the very end, he thought he'd be gone because they were going for Bichette and they didn't get him. They pivot to him. Phillies increased their offer. And then, of course, there's the overall conversation because Rob Thompson says, you're not exactly running it back. So there's a lot to break down here today at 215-592-9494. John, whether it's what was said yesterday or the overall season, what is hitting you here on the Phillies front?
I hate the way it sounds when Dave Dombrowski says, I think we're content with where we are. I want to feel good. I want to feel good about this team. And, it's so sad that my mind keeps jumping to Harrison Bader. Like, well, maybe if they sign him, I'll feel better about this whole thing.
We all will.
But I feel like that's all that's left now.
Pretty much. Yeah,
that really, right. It feels like there's nothing else. I don't get the feeling that there's the talent available to really make a huge difference. Harrison Bader, I mean, this is a pipe dream, isn't it? Last season, it was his all-time, the best looking stats he's ever put together in the small time that we shared with him. We can't really expect that level of performance from him, but I do think he brings the special sauce, he brings some extra swagger that we need and the positivity and he makes us better. I wanted to feel good about Dave Dombrowski, normally when he sits up there and talks, I feel so confident with where we sit.
Yeah, I know.
And it felt like he didn't have all the answers yesterday. And not only did he not get Bo Bichette to come to Philly, he lost Bo Bichette to the Mets.
But I will say he also lost him to the Mets, though. To be fair on this front, I wouldn't want a guy who can opt out after a year. I'm being honest with you. Like the whole idea, if a player plays great, and it's good that he plays great because he helps you for that 1 year. But if he plays great, he opts out and you probably lose him. I mean, not necessarily, definitely, but probably. And then if he stinks, he opts in, and now you're saddled with the guy that stinks.
Well, I would love to have the player. If that's what it took to sign the player.
Well, that's what it would take.
Okay. Well, I'd prefer to have the player. With the Bryce Harper thing, he was a little ticked off about what Dave said the last time Dave talked,
right.
and I feel like that's the most positive thing I can take out of this offseason, that Bryce Harper got a fire lit under his butt because of Dave Dombrowski saying he didn't have an elite season.
Yep.
Now Bryce Harper's wearing the not elite T-shirt in the batting cage. I love that he's in the batting cage. I love that he's motivated enough to go out and make a shirt to wear while batting in the batting cage. But I guess the big takeaway for me is I felt like we had a chance to supercharge this thing, and instead it feels
I agree, John.
Instead it feels like now we're sitting where we were before. Yeah. It seems transparent as to why you went back and signed JT after you missed on Bo Bichette. Of course. And it feels like we can't even get rid of the guys we don't really even want. Or we're not sure if we want. How are we as fans supposed to feel about Alec Boehm and Nick Castellanos? You've offered them up for anyone's taking, and they're here.
No, not on Boehm. Boehm, no. Casti, yes. Two different categories.
Casti, yes. Okay, but everyone knows that there were issues with Alec Boehm last year. They are not solid on Alec Boehm.
Right.
He was all but available. I mean, like dangled.
Yeah, they'd like to improve there, and
both guys
for sure
are still here.
Well, look,
Dave Dombrowski says he thinks he's content with where they are. Well, I think I'm discontented with the not the effort,
lack of urgency,
the failure. Yeah, he's now telling us that. It's good
the
enough,
Mets went
and
out
it's
and
not.
traded for Luis Robert last night.
Yeah, but I think
he's not enough.
But I think he stinks.
I mean, you can think what you want, but they're still doing things.
I know
and
they
that's
are.
the
Yeah,
point.
but they also traded away Nimmo. They let Alonso walk. Like the Mets offseason's been super weird. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Look, guys, here's where I'm at on the Phils, and we'll break it down, and we'll continue to play the audio for you, 215-592-9494. Here's where I'm at, big picture, Phils, 3 points. Point 3 is my most important point today, but 3 points. 1, I'm excited for the Phillies. 2, I think they have one of the top teams in baseball. Now,
You're excited for the Phillies.
I am excited. I'm very excited for the Phillies. Top teams in baseball, whether they're top 5, top 7, top 3, they're somewhere up there. And that gives them a shot. But here's the third point, and this is what's very in line with John. I'm disappointed they didn't do more in the offseason. I'm disappointed in the offseason. I mean, I can be excited and know that they have a shot to win a World Series and likely to win 90 or something games and compete. Fun
they
summer.
They have a lot less of a shot than they should have had.
Well, yeah,
if Dave Dombrowski would have been successful.
I don't give them an.
It's an F.
James, I don't give them an F.
It's a fail.
It's not a fail, but here's the.
How is it not? What did they do? They added Adolis Garcia.
I understand.
It's a fail, like a failing grade this offseason.
All right, so I don't go there. If they were to get Bader, and I don't think they will, I'd feel a lot better.
Maybe it'd be a D- if they get Bader.
Here's the heart. Here's the heart of the problem. Here's the heart of the problem. It is Boehm. And it is Boehm related to the 2-hole or the 4-hole. The heart of the problem is the offense. And the heart of the problem with the offense is who the hell hits in the top 4. And 3 of them. 3 of the top 4 in whatever order are Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper, as they've been the last 3 years. The heart of the problem is you have either a 2-hole hitter or a 4-hole hitter who doesn't merit being a 2-hole hitter or a 4-hole hitter, and that player, by definition, is almost definitely Alec Boehm. That's the problem. The problem in the offseason, I don't go as far as James does to say F, because I still think my team measures up in a lot of ways. I, for instance, don't want Luis Robert on the team. I think he stinks, so I don't want them to make moves just to make moves. I want good, smart moves. I think Robert is a bad move for the Mets. I think the Mets have had a disastrous offseason, so I think James has an overspeak there when he says F. I think that's out of frustration.
No, it's not an overspeak. I think they failed this offseason.
I know you do. I know you do.
I mean, real quick, what have they done?
No,
what positive?
But to me, James, here's what an F is. I ripped up my team, and now I don't have a chance.
No. You grade the offseason as it is. Every team gets a grade. So you're saying the only Fs are the teams that rip up their teams? No.
Teams that make huge mistakes. I don't think the Phillies made a huge...
They had an awful offseason. They had a honestly, disaster is the word for their offseason, in my opinion.
Look, they did not accomplish what they set out to accomplish.
Well, that's for sure.
Nothing.
You're right about that.
What did they do, Joe? What did they do this offseason?
They're running it back.
Right.
They added
Adolis Garcia and they let Ranger walk. They are a worse team today than they were at the end of last season. It's a failure.
They've added two outfielders that it feels very like two guys in, two guys out, similar. Now we'll see how Crawford measures up. But no, I guess the difference I make is I'm not happy with the offseason either, but this is me, guys. I think James is going too far when he says F. I mean, to me, F is you don't get to advance from 4th to 5th grade. Like, F, like you have to go to summer school. Like, to me, that's
They got worse.
Well,
they are a worse team.
Well, we knew in losing Ranger, they probably would get worse.
Right, but we thought they would add to the offense. We thought they would change. They didn't. Like they are.
I
don't understand what grade would you give them?
I would give them a C.
Yeah, I think it's a failure of an offseason. They went in trying. They did not want to run it back. They did not want to do this.
You're right.
And they are. They failed. Like, I don't know what word there is other than failure.
Is not the
you
plan.
can't call it a gut punch and in the same 20 minutes say you're content.
No, I understand. No, Ray,
I thought sense at all.
That was bad. That was bad. There's no question. To John's point, I don't think things were really well presented. I'm not saying they were.
No.
All right, we'll play the audio. We'll take your reaction. 215-592-9494. Do you go as far as James with your opinion and frustration, or are you a little bit more measured? Some would say reasonable, like the hammer. Joe DeCamara and Jon Ritchie, where do you stand in the offseason? What was said yesterday? We'll play you more audio, including coming up next, what Rob Thompson said about how they are not running it back, which I think he's wrong about. Joe DeCamara and Jon Ritchie, Devin Seltzer and Ray here on 94 WIP.